The world is too much with us, by William Wordsworth. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We've given our hearts away, a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that are howling at all hours, are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. The world is too much with us. I picked for several reasons. First, I picked it because it gives us a chance to talk about a dichotomy that we use a lot in our typical everyday thought, but that philosophy is going to want us to set aside. Wordsworth says we see little we see in nature that is ours. Everything in nature is ours. We are natural beings. Or perhaps better to say everything we see that is ours is in nature because we are natural beings. Ants build anthills, people build skyscrapers. What's the difference? It's an artificial difference if you see one at all. One you force on the situation and out of a refusal to understand that human beings live in the natural world as natural creatures. Also, here we have another rejection. He rejects his world view that he has grown up with. He says, I would rather be a pagan in a creed outworn. He wants to find good in the world. He wants to enjoy the world, and he could do that if he weren't, well, if he weren't what? If he weren't a Christian, well, that could be it. If he weren't an Englishman, that could be it too, especially an Englishman at the outset of the Industrial Revolution, who sees a battle between nature and humanity. One that he's pretty sure, since the sea bears her bosom to the moon and the winds are howling at all hours, when we'll be upgathered like sleeping flowers, we are out of tune. Nature will win this war, this outcome. There is no beating nature because we're part of nature, and therefore will always fall under its sway. We cannot overcome nature because even if we could overcome the rest of reality, which seems very unlikely, we'd still be here, and we're nature too. This idea of separating the cosmos into two things, natural and artificial, naturally made and human made, is an artificial division. A big part of philosophy involves trying to determine whether a given difference, a given division, a given way of looking at the world in parts is a legitimate way or not. I always fall back on the advice of William James here, who quotes one of his German medical teachers. A difference that makes no difference is no difference. If you can't find some meaningful, important way to distinguish between a structure made by ants and a structure made by people, other than ants are not people, well, so what? That's not an important distinction. Well, you say, well, ants build out of instinct. People don't. I mean, we're told food, shelter is an essential human need. Surely, if you can't find ready-made shelter, you make it yourself, instinctually. Maybe not always all that good, but over time, of course, the instinct becomes honed. It becomes perfected. And we're able to create skyscrapers, rockets to the moon, any sort of structure we set out to make is possible. But it's just a manifestation of our instinct. Or is it? Are there instincts? Are there natures to human beings? All of these questions come out of reading this. The world is too much with us can mean at least two things. The world is too much with us. We can't escape the world. It's just too much. Or the world is too much with us. That the world is in our hands to change, affect, and make our own. This is the way philosophy looks at problems. Keep talking philosophy.